Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm doing some cooking on my channel, which I've actually never done before, and today I'm bringing you this amazing chicken pepper soup recipe with added yam pieces. It's absolutely full of flavor, it's delicious, it's hearty, and it's quick and easy to do. My sister-in-law cooked this for me when I just had a baby, and honestly I have been cooking it nearly every week since then. So I really hope that you enjoy this recipe. So for ingredients, I'm using soft chicken that you buy at the supermarket, and you can use chicken thighs or drumsticks. I'm using both, but either one is absolutely fine. I'm using onions and scotch bonnets, and for seasoning I'll be using some mixed herbs, thyme. I'm also using Knorr cubes, the original one, not the chicken one. Also some Peppersoup Spices, of course. You can get this from, the African Caribbean shops. And of course, last but not least, I'm using yam. I'm using 2 yam tubers, even though I'm only showing you one here. So first of all, I just start by cutting my scotch bonnet and onions. So the amount of scotch bonnet you use honestly depends on how spicy you want your pepper soup to be. I'm using 3, and that gives it a moderate spice. I don't want it too spicy to the point where I can't eat it, but that's just for me. Of course, adjust it to how much spice you like. Next, I'm cleaning my chicken, just the standard, of course, just removing any kind of dirt. Sometimes you can still see some feathers and things like that on there, so just make sure that it's all nice and clean, ready for cooking. So once I have done this, I fill up the pot with water about 3/4 of the way. Of course, it's pepper soup, so you do need, quite a bit of water for the recipe. And then once I've done this, I go ahead and season the chicken with all the seasoning. So I'm starting off with the Knorr cubes. I use quite a lot of cubes for this because there is a lot of water. It's not just your standard boiling meat. You do have to add quite a lot of seasoning. I used about 9 or 10 double cubes, but I'll say just season to taste because of course it depends on how much water you're using. I then add 2 teaspoons of thyme and mixed herbs, and then of course my chopped onions and scotch bonnet, and then I just mix it all together and then allow it to boil. So once the chicken is boiling, I give it another stir just to make sure the seasoning and spices is distributed nicely, and then I taste it just to make sure the seasoning is to my taste, which I realized it needed a little bit more, so that's what I was adding there. I give it another quick stir and then cover it and let it continue cooking. So after about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm adding the Peppersoup Spices, and I'm adding 4 heaped teaspoons. You can obviously add a bit more or less, again according to your taste. I stir all the flavors and seasoning around again, and then I leave it to cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. So by now the chicken should actually be cooked. This type of chicken cooks really fast compared to the hard-boiled chicken we buy from the market. So now I'm going to shred the chicken. Now you can do this a couple of ways. You can do it the way I'm doing it here, using 2 forks to just shred it within the pot, or you can actually take all the chicken out and then kind of cut it and then just put it back in. Or you could have cut the chicken from the beginning and done it that way, but I personally find this way easier. The chicken is super soft, so it's very easy to do. Shredding the chicken like this means that you always have chicken on your spoon when you're eating without any effort, which is amazing. So I give it another quick taste to make sure I'm absolutely happy with the flavors, and then I move on to the yam. I sliced the yam I would say about 2 inches wide, and then I cut the skin off the edges, and then I sliced it down the middle into 2. So I did this until the yam tuber was finished. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I did use 2 tubers of yam. I give the yam a good rinse, and then I add the pieces straight into the pepper soup. Now you don't need to season or do anything to the yam beforehand, because the flavor and the seasoning from the pepper soup will cook the yam and will make it soft and of course give it flavor. Just be mindful of not adding too much yam because the water will rise. That is what is happening to me here, as you can see. So I actually did have to take out some of the water later on. Leave to boil for about 20 to 25 minutes, or at least until you can see that the yam is soft. As you can see here, once you can break off the yam like so, then it is cooked and the pepper soup is ready. Dish your pepper soup into a bowl and enjoy. That is it, guys. That is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you try out this recipe. You can of course adjust it and use fish, you can use goat meat, you can use hard-boiled chicken, anything that you prefer. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Thank you again for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.